Brothers and sisters, members of the faculty, members of the Black Student Union, Brother Lumumba, to those from the community who have come to be a part of this gathering today. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. The great God who was to come and indeed has come to seek and to save that which was lost. If we search the pages of history and if we search the pages of Scripture, we will not be able to find any person or persons more fitting the biblical description of the lost sheep or the lost people than the black man and woman of America and the Western Hemisphere, who have not only been lost from our native land and people for a little over 400 years, lost from our language, lost from our culture, lost from our natural religion and our own God, lost from the traditional knowledge that was ours in Africa. But worse than that, the black man of America has been lost from the very nature and power of his own being. And being lost from the nature and power of your own being, we have been lost from that motivation of self. So we have become, in essence, that which the Scriptures refer to as a dead people. And you know that anything that is dead has no power within to move itself. It must be moved by external forces. But it is written in the Scriptures of both the Bible and Holy Quran that in the last days God would come and He would raise the dead. So many of us have misunderstood the Scriptures, and we believe that Gabriel would blow his trumpet and all of the dead bodies that have been in the cemetery for all of these years would bust out from under the tombstones and jump on up and fly away. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us and teaches us that if we don't know the language of a book, we cannot understand the book. If you don't know the language of Scripture, you cannot decode the Scripture to find the truth that is hidden beneath the wise, symbolic utterances of the prophets. Nothing physically dead can get up from that grave. But that which is mentally, morally, spiritually, socially, economically, and politically dead can arise with the presence of truth. And it is your day, black man and woman, to arise from your and my grave of ignorance to take our proper place in the world and to affect world affairs. This is the day of the resurrection of the dead, the rise of the black man. I thank Almighty God for His prophets and the Scriptures that they brought. But if I live to be 1,000, I shall always be grateful to Almighty God, Allah, for raising one from among the dead to be a resurrector of this dead people to life. And that one of whom I speak is the messenger of Allah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. In their names, I'm happy to greet you this morning, my brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. In the Arabic language, we say, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. Those of you who are Christians, you know that Jesus never met his disciples or left his disciples without first saying, peace be with you. Well, you know Jesus didn't speak English. The English language, which we know is a bastardized language, not meaning any disrespect, it's approximately 500 years old. So that great man, Jesus, who was here 2,000 years ago, didn't know anything about it. They say he spoke Aramaic. Some say he spoke ancient Egyptian, Arabic, and Hebrew. Be careful. The light was only made to guide, not to hurt. So if Jesus were here, in Hebrew he would say Shalom Aleichem. In Aramaic or Arabic he would say Assalamu Alaikum. And in English we say to you all, peace be unto you. Now that's an intelligent greeting word. It's much better than hi. And I'm sure you will agree we've been high too long in the wrong way. So we don't want to say hi. And it's a better greeting word than hello. Well, hell has always been low. And as long as we've been in America deprived of justice and freedom and equality, we've been in hell and we've been pretty low. And it's a much better greeting than good morning or good evening, because it's never a good morning when you wake up not free. It's never a good morning when you wake up and have to ask, what's happening? Because you don't know what's happening. It's never a good evening when you have to lay down knowing that the day did not resolve the question of who am I, where am I, and what shall I do for tomorrow. Then you say good night. No. When you wake up, the best greeting is peace. When you lay down, the best greeting is peace. I'm very honored and happy to be in your midst. I hope that if you have other classes coming behind this one, I hope that you will recognize how long it's been since I've been here, which was never. And I don't know when I shall be blessed to come back and be with you again. So why not let's make the most of it? Why not cancel your other classes? Because I can promise you, you will learn more with us in 1 hour than you have learned practically in all of your life. I did not come to waste your time, and I'm certainly not a braggart or a boaster, because as we are taught in the Holy Quran that Allah does not love any self-conceited boaster. A self-conceited boaster The sound of that to God is like the braying of an ass, so says the Holy Quran. So we don't boast in ourselves, but we are proud of the fact that God has given us a supreme teacher in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that wisdom that he has given to us, we boast in it, and we proudly and humbly share that wisdom with you. Now, there are a few things I want to say before we get into the lecture. Coming onto the campus, there were so many different directors to help me to find this place that I had to just stop and stand still until clear directions came. And as I was going through the feeling of discomfort, not having clear direction, I thought about my brothers and sisters who are students here. And I said, let me relate my dilemma to the national dilemma, to the international dilemma. We have so many voices calling us here and there, hither and yon. We sometimes get so confused, we don't know which voice to listen to. And when you get that confused, it's best to tune them all out and stand still until clear guidance comes. Now, when it is dark, we cannot see our way. But if you stay in the dark long enough, the motion of the planet will turn you out of darkness into light. When a people have been in darkness as long as we have been in darkness, all we have to do is keep on living. And the motion of living will take us out of darkness into the marvelous light of truth. And when truth comes, falsehood vanishes. And falsehood is forever a vanishing thing. The Holy Quran compares knowledge with light and falsehood with darkness. And when a people, boy, y'all got this hook up here, and everybody can't, nobody do what they're supposed to do till they get hooked up. And brothers and sisters, we need to unhook you from what you've been hooked on or hooked to, and rehook you to that which by nature you belong to. Now, if light is synonymous with truth and darkness is synonymous with falsehood, and light is the energy that makes things move, and darkness and falsehood cannot give true motion to living things, then no people can be successful under falsehood. And anytime you see a people repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, that people are not in the light of truth. They live in the shadow, in the darkness of falsehood or ignorance. All right, let's go on. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that that great big ball of fire that we call sun, 93 million miles from the earth, 853,000 miles in diameter, with a surface temperature of 14,972 degrees Fahrenheit. The light from that sun striking the earth at its equator, traveling at the speed of 186,000 miles per second, causes the earth to turn at the rate of speed of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour. Well, what are you talking about, brother? That if light from the sun striking the earth causes the earth to make her rotation and revolution, you can never be a true revolutionary in the dark. You can't bring about a revolution with ignorance. You have to first come under the power of truth. And truth will turn your mind on. And from a revolution that takes place in here and the overthrow of a false, ignorant government that dominates your physiology, then you can restructure a world around you. So true revolutionaries understand that all revolutions are dependent upon light. So wise, intelligent white folks never intended for the original black man to make a proper revolution. Therefore, they hid the light from the black man. Jesus said in the scriptures, what man having a light would hide it? Oh, that's a good question that the master asked. What man having a light would put it under a bushel basket? Would not a man that has a light go up on the top of the hill so that the world may see that light and come to that light? Yes. But not this world. This world, which is a world of oppression, a world of exploitation, a world that puts the rich over the poor, the mighty over those that don't have power, the white over the black. This kind of world, in order to maintain the status quo, must hide truth from the poor, hide light from those in darkness in order to maintain white supremacy. So when you were invited to Northridge, they did not invite you here to give you light, to enable you to make a true revolution. They invited you here to feed you more darkness in the name of light so that you would think you had what you had not. To my brothers who are up in the balcony, you can come on down. There are a lot of seats here if you don't mind being that close to me. I sure don't mind being close to my brothers and sisters. No, not the sisters, the brothers who are standing up who don't have a seat. If you want to, you're welcome. All right? But we can't, we're not going to stop anything. We're just going to continue. Everybody is okay so far? All right. Have you noticed how dissatisfied you are with most of your professors? Now, if I can be kind enough to speak for your professors, most of your professors are dissatisfied with themselves, but they won't say it. Because any true teacher is not happy when he can't reach his students. No true teacher wants to teach for pay, though we all understand we have to live in this world. A true teacher wants to see the students motivated, stimulated, inspired, and their life changed by the introduction of knowledge. But the teacher is as uninspired as the students, because the teacher has gotten a PhD degree in darkness. So the only thing that the professor has, just check this out. Are you saying, Mr. Farrakhan, that I don't have the light? That's exactly what I'm saying, Doc. And not only do I intend to say it, Doctor, I intend to prove it, Doctor. You don't have it. If you had it, they wouldn't need me to come. Or Queen Mother Moore, or anybody else to come. They would have it. Oh, praise is due to Allah. No, you don't have it. Now let's see. Come on, let's agree. It's not, no. Please don't get your jaws tight, Professor. I'm not talking to any special professor, but I just don't want you to get your jaws tight. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. But I think we have to look into the mirror of truth and come out of a false existence. See, white folks give you the degree. You have that. We hear that all the time. You have a position. You have that. You may have a little money gotten from your position, from your degree. You have a home and a nice car. That's nice. But that's not where it's at. It's about moving a people who desire to be free. It's about inspiring a dead man to bust open his grave and ascend to his Father. That's what it's all about. And if you can't do that, and you can't, not with your present knowledge, then we need to bear witness that we need the light of truth. My dear brothers and sisters, these places, these institutions, when they draw you in, give you a little stipend, a little scholarship maybe, give you a little football job, a little track or basketball job. They understand, niggas could always run. They always think that, niggas are strong as a tank. So if they got a bunch of us on the line, and especially some of us in the backfield, they know that they got a good team, or at least they believe that. But we can't build a world, brother, on your magnificent athletic ability. We can't build a world on your speed of foot. We can only build a world with the quickness of your mind, but your mind has to be quickened because your mind is actually dead. And these wickedly wise scholars know what they're doing to you. They know what they have done, and they know what they intend to do. Now, the black students generally are dissatisfied. That's not only in Northridge, this is all over America. Why are you dissatisfied? Because something is quickening in your nature that makes you to understand that you need more than what you are getting. And you wonder why you can't make Northridge supply you what you need. And Northridge is about to tell you, or Cal State is about to tell you, this college wasn't designed for you. Now, those of you who are in computers, you design a system to do a certain thing. Is that right? And when you design it to do one thing, you cannot apply something different to that design unless you redesign the thing. This system was not designed to bring the best out of a black mind. This system was designed to bring the best out of white folks. You say, well, is there a difference? Oh, yes. If there were no difference, you could apply a universal principle and it would bring us all up the same. But there is a difference. Everybody settled? There is a difference, and this is the difference. When in their development of the learning which they received from our fathers in Africa, I shall repeat that. When in the development of their learning which they received from our fathers in Africa, they did not want to pay homage to the father of the disciplines that they had acquired. If they did, Socrates would not be the father of philosophy, nor would Hippocrates be the father of medicine. They would have to give credit to our black fathers in Africa. But to give credit to our black fathers would be to say to little white children, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. But since they wanted to, and they were born to, by the way, rule, they are not made by nature to take secondary positions. This is why when you put white under black, they do not function well. They will do everything in their power to overthrow that which is above them because their nature tells them they are supposed to be the boss. So we don't want to give homage to the black fathers of these disciplines. So by cutting our fathers out and the contribution that our fathers made to their advancement, they fostered in their children from Greece to Rome, all up into England, the idea that black people never did anything worthwhile, but the wise among them knew better. Now, why was it necessary to hide that knowledge? Because if that knowledge were present, their people would have had respect for you. You don't find in early Greek history that the Greeks who understood that their wise ones went into Egypt, into Africa to study, they didn't call the Egyptians niggers. They didn't make mockery of Egyptian civilization or African civilization because that was the father of their knowledge. They didn't make mockery of that. But as we got further and further away from that period of time, more and more disrespect for the original man or the black man came into those young children due to the miseducation or leaving out of the education that ingredient of where it originated. By the time this country was set up and our fathers were brought into slavery, they had to justify what they were doing to black people. So then the Bible became corrupted because they had to make the Bible speak to what they were doing. You were black. And black is what God is against. Because the Bible always talks about light over darkness. It talks about truth over falsehood. So I am white and you is black. And you are akin to the devil because of the darkness of your skin. Therefore, religiously, we could rat you out and treat you any kind of way we wanted to, and the Lord Jesus Christ would be pleased. Did you hear what I said? I could then use Jesus' holy name to shield a dirty religion behind the name of a righteous servant of God. And I could use religion to make me want to fight wars against dark people. Kill off Indians. Kill off Mexicans. Kill off anybody that didn't call themselves a Christian and justify it by the word of the Lord Jesus Christ. Go ahead. You hear me? I could make me a Ku Klux Klan and put the symbol of Christianity as my sign and burn it in front of black folk and then hang a nigger and go home and eat a steak with my children saying, "Did you kill him, Daddy?" Why? Because true religion was twisted to justify the wickedness of a racist, wicked-natured people whose desire was to crush you that you would never rise again. Now listen, brother and sister. White folks do this every day, and some of you do the same thing. When you want to get into some dirt, your nature tells you. You don't need no Bible to instruct you in right and wrong. The all-wise God didn't make a mistake. He put it in your nature, brother, to tell you what is right. There is no faggot or no homosexual that can tell me that your nature don't bother you. Something inside keeps telling you it ain't right. Once upon a time, there was a young girl who came to me. She was about 11 or so. She had been guilty of having sex. And the law of Islam at that time under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that when you commit a crime against the divine law, that for some period of time you would be excommunicated from the society. So the little girl came to me and said, "My mommy never taught me about this, and I just didn't know, and I got into that." And I went for it. And I went to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I said to him, you know, she said she didn't know anything about it, and her mother didn't teach her about that. So he looked at me and says,
He said, brother, don't you let that young child make a fool out of you. Go back and ask her, where did she do this act? And if she tells you she did it in some dark corner, then ask her, if she did not know that it was wrong, why did not she do it in the light? And he said, you go back and deal with her. And when I dealt with that little child, I mean, she just knew and dropped her head. I said, And then I thought deeply, every one of us know when we're doing something that's not cool.
That's right.
But when you want to do it, you have to bring up in your mind some rational excuse for your irrational behavior. So you want to blame, well, I wouldn't have done it if he didn't, or I wouldn't have been like this if she didn't, or if I wouldn't have smoked the joint if he didn't blow it in my face. You know, you always have an excuse. And after you quiet your conscience, which means your nature in which you're created, that keeps bringing an impulse to your brain telling you that you're wrong, after you quiet it down with a lie that you know is a lie, then you can do this evil with impunity. Now the Caucasian does it different. See? He shoots a black man down. Boom! They have an inquest. He says, he reached into his pocket. I didn't know what he was reaching for. And I was nervous and I shot him. See, he has to justify what he did. Well, that's to tell you that everything that white folks have done to us, they can justify it, brother. They can justify cutting off funds to you right now. I know it. They can justify giving you a Pan-African studies, and they can justify taking it away. They justify everything they do, and when they come up with their justification, it sounds right. It sounds plausible, but if you look underneath it, you find a lie at the root. Now, what you saying, Farrakhan? I'm saying that white folks twisted religion and the pure truth of God. They changed it into a lie to justify imperialism, colonialism, slavery, and the destruction of a whole people. And after messing with the religion, if you pardon that expression, they went right to education and fortified what they had done in religion. Making their young people look up to Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Galileo, and those, while denying you your place. Well, that's all right for them to do for theirs. But when they brought us out of Africa into the West, brothers and sisters, they yet do not consider that one cardinal sin. They talk about the Holocaust of Jews, and they make you think that's a horrible thing, and it is. But you can't compare 6 million Jews to 100 million black lives that were lost in the Middle Passage.
Because you no longer are people in their eyes, we can strike out 100 million. That ain't nothing. They are niggers. But 6 million Jews, that's people. So we will infect you with a sympathy for Jews, and you don't have no sympathy for your black self. See that, brother? Most of you are so psychologically raped right now. You don't need to be raped, sister, and your physical body be taken. Your mind has been taken. Your soul has been tampered with. Your judgment has been altered. Your humanity has been destroyed, and you are like beasts today, following after the low desires that have become a god in your life beside God. You follow your sex drive, and your sex drive is your God. And anything that will interfere with your desire to be with this one or that one, regardless to whether they're married or single, it makes no damn difference. You've become a beast. You were made this way, and your humanity is dead under your bestiality. Not only your humanity, but your divinity. Say it again, brother. You don't even want to recognize that you are a divine people, because you have fallen so low down that even to call you divine seems like blasphemy. But you are divine, but you are dead in your divinity. Oh, brother and sister, this educational system justifies your acquiescence to white tutelage. Your educational system makes you hate your blackness and love, idolize, admire, want to be white. Oh yes, in 1979 you are sick and need a doctor to operate on your brain and give you some sense, not dollars, some sense. Shoot. And a white woman walk in here, she'll upset the place. Brother can't look at his black woman no more. He don't want her no more. And she just about as bad. Running after that white woman like a hungry dog after meat, brother. Because the elements of truth have been so twisted in religion, so twisted in education, so twisted in law, so twisted in politics, so twisted in everything that makes up their world, that everywhere you go you find more darkness, more stumbling, falling, getting up, because you can't see where you're going, because the light is out in your mind. In a book called Brown Americans by a man named Embry, there was a discussion of us going on in the Virginia legislature, and one of the legislators said, talking about us, we have, as far as possible, closed off every avenue by which light can enter the slave's mind. End quote. What you mean, legislator? As long as there is no light,
no avenue by which light can enter the slave's mind, there will never be a change in the slave status. So in 1979, you are a bigger slave than your fathers were. I saw Muhammad Ali playing Freedom Road, and I said, what has happened to my brother? You looked at it probably in your lack of light, and you said, this is marvelous. But I looked at my brother with the light of knowledge, knowing my brother a few years ago would never have taken no such part to put in the mouth of a man that has gone up to the top of the mountain. A man that gave inspiration to black people all over the world. And the masters of subliminal suggestion, script writers say to him, even camera shots play him as a dwarf to Chris Christopherson, looking down on him, he looking up. But the subliminal message is, your man ain't as big as you think he is. They couldn't do it to him in the ring, so now through subliminal suggestion they want to rip it all away from him. Put it in the mouth of Ali. Sure, it's acting, but very few black people can tell acting from real life. They say that black and white can't get along. I don't believe that. That's Ali's words. It ain't the script. That's Ali talking. And they're putting their madness in the mouth of a man that black people respect. All for $1, you become a whore, selling your soul and selling black people out who need truth and light, and they use you and your damnable talent or your divine talent in a damnable way to bring your people and keep them chained in darkness, falsehood, and ignorance. I love to hear you sing Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love to hear you sing Stevie Wonder. I love to see you act, my good brothers and sisters in the business. But when you read your script, you better read it now with light and say, no, I want to do that. But the money, I'll survive. The ants eat. The worms eat. They'll eat your behind if you give them a chance. If everything else that God created is eaten, how come you fear for your bread? Because you want to justify your submission to wrong to keep your brothers and sisters bound into falsehood. When I see black women and men on the stage taking their God-given talent and instead of using it divinely, they use it to keep black people moving in the sphere of low desires. I want to get on up. I want to get on up. I want to get on down. What the hell is this? Coming on out with your sequin shirt and your frilly clothes and your long braided hair and your high heel shoes and your bag over your faggot shoulder. You say this is show business. You're a damn fool. It's the business of keeping black people enslaved to the darkness of Jewish machinations. I know you can't say it, then shut up. I'll talk for you. My father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the God of creation has made me to love truth more than I love my life, and to love freedom for black people more than I care to stay alive. So if God gives me the strength and the room, I will tell it. And don't give a doggone about the consequences, because I know that in the end, you're going to be free. I know that in the end, you're going to see yourself not as a nigger, a coon, a shine, and a ham bone, but you're going to see divinity burst forth out of your chest, because you are a divine people that have never been taught who you are. Now, I'm going after it today. Just give me a few more minutes. So our musicians and our entertainers are used to keep us dumb. Our lawyers and our doctors and our teachers, they're all in the system. Keep them dumb. You got professors that are here who know that the courses they're teaching don't mean a damn. But do you think they will agitate for change? No, I ain't gonna mess up my security for these crazy niggas. But what a fool you are. You've already messed up your security, because you have no heart to fight for a people that would protect and bear you on their shoulders if you were a man or a woman. Got you promoting homosexuality and don't know it. Got you promoting indecency and you don't know it. Oh, brother, they got us in a world of darkness, just spinning like a top. Poor brothers and sisters, you want to party all day long, all night long, all day long, all night long. Get me a joint and get me a smoke. Let me snort it on up. Look at you. I'm talking about you want to be free, a high freak. How in the hell you going to get free and you're in a condition that you can't see that the powder you snorting is the agent of your enslavement? It's pitiful. My beautiful sisters, God's gift to this creation. Not breast or boobs and butt, but a divine entity who has the power of God within her to take anything and magnify and beautify and evolve and develop it, because that is her nature. But she has been reduced to a plaything, and we keep her in that mold, not recognizing that when you put your woman in a mold or keep your woman in the mold of a plaything, you keep yourself in that same mold, because she is your future. When you smack a woman, you back in your future. When you don't honor and respect a woman, you dishonor and disrespect your future. What you mean, my future, man? Because she makes your future for you, fool. Your future is in the seed. God has ordained that the seed of anything is the future of it. And you can't do nothing with the seed by yourself. You have to have good earth to plant it in. You plant it in the earth, then corrupt the earth around the seed. Then when your produce comes forth looking at you hatefully, scornfully. You say, I wonder what that woman been telling that baby. Meet you in the pool room talking with the boys. Yeah, I wonder what the hell's wrong with that woman. Every time I see that child, he's looking at me funny. I believe that woman telling him something. Yeah, she's telling him something. She's telling him the things that you tell her by your actions toward her. We are foolish people, are dead people that need to be raised to life. What about our leadership? Our poor, pitiful black leadership. We closed off every avenue by which light can enter the slave's mind. What did you mean? The book Bible is sealed. We'll let niggers read it, but we know they won't understand it. Give them all the school books you want. They'll never be able to decipher its hidden meanings and the principles in those books to be able to apply it in their life. And the leaders, we'll control them too. How will you control our leaders? We'll make the leaders for them. Any leader that they choose, we'll destroy. And if we make a leader for them and he don't act according to our desire, we'll destroy that one too. Now, look at your leaders. Is there anything wrong with Reverend Joseph Lowry and Reverend Jesse Jackson talking to the PLO? I don't see anything wrong with that, do you? Shouldn't they talk to who they want to talk to? Khrushchev sat down with Kennedy. Carter sat down with Brezhnev. There's Jews in Russia that don't get along too well with that government. But then no Jews try to close down the government because they figure Mr. Carter's in their interest. Now, but there is something wrong if you go 9,000 miles to try to make peace between a Jew and an Arab, and you won't come to your brother who's killing each other daily and make peace in your own community. There is something wrong with that. Your priorities need to be straightened out. Now you listen to me good. I ain't getting up off of nothing or no one. Truth will reign today. Let's hear this. Brothers, sisters, you may disagree, but God used the movement of Jesse Jackson and Joseph Lowry to bring about a break in that which has traditionally sucked the blood of the black community, so that you could finally see you don't have no friend but God and yourself. Now listen to this. You always could fight against O'Hara and O'Clanahan because the Irish traditionally have been hard on black folks. You always could look at Scavinelli and Brusini and Godfather 1 and 2. Say, man, these cats don't dig us. But you never could see Schwartz. You never could see Kaplan, because they were always right next to you, telling you, oh, we suffered the same things that you all suffered. We're brothers in the same struggles. We need to back each other up, especially when it comes to my cash register and the whiskey that I sell and the pork products that Moses told me I shouldn't even touch so much as the carcass. But all my niggers can have chitlins, and you the biggest pig eater that there is. And then white folks come and put a pig on the door or push. Boy, do you know what they're saying? Come on. And do you have an appropriate answer? No, because you're in the dark. Right. Vernon Jordan and Ben Hooks come out against Jesse and Lowry. After they meet in New York City at a summit meeting of black leaders on August the 27th or 22nd, and they get their act together and make a definitive statement. In that meeting, Vernon Jordan said, look, I can't offend the Jews. Because I get $1.6 million in the urban league from the Jews. Ben Hooks says, I can't offend the Jews. Bayard Rustin, well, everybody knows where he's at. But in the meeting, they decided that they would water down the statement that they made, and they made a nice little statement. And it was read by Mayor Richard Hatcher, and everybody stood there taking pictures. Whitey didn't want to see that. He don't want to see no united front of black people. So the Jews got busy. And you know how they work. They make their call. Jews are intelligent people, brothers and sisters. They are some of the wisest Caucasians on earth, or the wisest humans on earth. They don't play. They're few in number, but they get their way because they got their thing together. And they pull the string. They say, look, Vernon, 1.6 million. You better say something. Look, Ben, I know you don't want to say it, but look, my people are angry. The Jews tell me they're not going to give nothing more to the NAACP until you all come out against what Jesse said. Bride, you know you always been with us, so keep on going. See how many more you can get. And all of a sudden the unity was broken. And then they tried to patch it up in a little meeting, hugging and all. We may disagree, but we're still brothers. And the Jews sitting behind the door saying, I don't like that either, because that's too intelligent. He want to see black people kill each other. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stood up and called for separation, he pulled Thurgood Marshall and said, get on him. Yes, they did. They said, Dr. King, get on him. They said, Roy Wilkins, get on him. and all the black leadership that was backed by Jewish liberal money attacked the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just like the puppets attacked Marcus Garvey, just like they will attack any true spokesman for the hurt of the masses of our people. And now here come the dogs. And all the masters showed them was a bone with no meat on it. Just a promise of some meat coming. And the dogs went to barking. Now, I say to Jesse, I say to Joe Lowry, I say to Ben Hooks and Vernon Jordan, listen, brothers. Atlanta is the murder capital of the world. It's brothers killing brothers. Don't go over there trying to stop Jews from killing Arabs and Arabs from killing Jews and think your little nonviolent program across the water is going to work. Make it work at home. Come on home, brothers. And let us all lock our arms together and walk in the ghetto and say to the blood, look, brother, we are flesh of each other's flesh and blood of each other's blood. Put up your knife and your gun for your brother. Yes. Let us take the love movement of Dr. Martin Luther King, and instead of showering that love on white folks who don't give a damn about you, come on home and learn to love one another. Then when you go across the water, both sides will be able to listen to you because you did your work at home. Vernon Jordan and Ben Hooks, we say to you, dear brothers, what is $1.6 million of Jewish money? Look at what a little prostitute you have become. This is awful. The purchasing power of black people is $100 or more billion. Why should you sell out your people for $1.6 million? It's because you know you don't have no program for the masses of black people, and that's why you need Jewish liberal money. But the Jew is going to cut it off. And I'm going to keep eye on everybody's behind to make sure they do cut it off so you can come home, black man, and do your job for the masses of the people. Why would you go to Israel and talking about Palestinians need a homeland as though you got one? America is my home. How come you can't take off your shoes and relax at home? You need a homeland yourself. You need to breathe free yourself. I think we can sum up this whole afternoon experience by saying that our enemies, and I want you to get this part very, very good, are to the black man like snow is to the earth. Snow is water that was drawn up into the earth's rotational gravitation by the strong attracting power of the sun and the moon. And as that water comes up in fine mists and collects together with other mists, it forms clouds. And when that cloud gets into a cold current, that water freezes. And when it becomes heavier than gravitation, she comes back to the earth in a fluffy form called snow or ice as hail. And if it's in a warm current, it comes back as rain. White folks have been to black people like snow is to the ground. No matter how good the seed is in the earth, it cannot germinate when the temperature is beneath 32 degrees. Water freezes at 32, and so does life. And so all that is under 32 degrees is dead. Is it an accident that in the Masonic order they only can offer you 33 degrees? Come on now, you that work with a protractor. You that know the angles. 32 degrees, water freezes, and at the 32nd degree, the high mason comes out of the Bible and gets into the Holy Quran. Did you know that? I know you didn't, because it's a secret. They don't tell these things, but we know the secrets. And we don't have to worry about telling somebody else's secret, because it ain't ours. And the same sword that's over their head for telling the secret ain't over ours. Yes, sir, it's cover pulling time. Do you know that the people that run the country are called Shriners? They have these big parades every year, and they have these fezzes on with the crescent with a sword over it, and they dress up in all the Arab regalia, and they come down the street. They call them Muslim sons or Muslim Shriners. Did you know that? I know you didn't, but I want you to study it. When they go to their temple, they call it a temple. Right down in Los Angeles, they have on Wilshire Boulevard, they got a Scottish Rite temple. You don't know what all that science is on there. They make their temple after the temples in the East. Why? Because in their temple they're paying homage to the black man when the black man was in his glory. But they can't tell you that. So when you go in there, you don't hear hi or bye. You hear salam alaikum. And you hear in their meetings someone go and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. See, that's what you hear them say. And when they come out, they put on their suit just like you and fade into the night and keep the knowledge hidden from the people that hunger and search for truth. You are the most watched people in the world because you hold the key to the whole world problem. Dumb as you think you are. You are the key. Now listen, I want you to hear me this last few minutes. Just hold on. I know you ain't used to sitting this long, especially if it ain't a bar or a disco. You understand? It's going to be all right. I just want you to boogie with me these last few minutes. Look, brothers and sisters, that snow just happens to be white. And it happens to be under 32 degrees. Under that snow is a seed of divine called Negro. Say, he's called me first. We accept that name. Yesterday. That word Negro comes from a Greek word, N-E-K-R-O. When you bring it up into Latin, it's N-E-C-R-O. And the Greek K is interchangeable with the Latin C, which is interchangeable with the English G. But all of it means the same thing. Necro means the dead. When you see this prefix, necrology, necromancy, it's talking about what? The dead. And when you see a Negro, you see a man and a woman whose arms move, whose feet move, but between here and here, there is no light. He's dead. The word Negro means something lifeless, hard, and neutral. Nigger means the same thing. So when white folks call you nigger, they know what they're saying. There go a nigger. There go a nigger. That means there goes something neutral. He ain't neither this nor that. He's been removed from Africa and don't know how to get back. Been in America trying to be an American and can't be that. So now he's in between. That's why they say we got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, right? Something about the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In between. There you are. A lost brother. A dead man. He can't move on his own. Look at you. You got to be moved. That means that unless somebody acts on you, you do not act. You got to wait until there's some emotional issue before you all come together. What happened? And after that issue is over, it's back. A dead man got eyes, but he cannot see. A dead man got ears, but he cannot hear. A dead man got a tongue, but he cannot speak. A dead man has no feeling. You can do anything to him, he will not react because he's dead. Here he is, under Snow White, and really the seven dwarfs. The people that are your master are really dwarfs. They are not your equal in nothing if you woke up. Well, brother, Jesus. They got this same story in the Bible under the name Samson. And who? Ain't that something? Samson had lots of hair, right? Long hair. Twisted into how many locks? 7 locks. And old Delilah said, Sam, how did you get so strong? I sure would like to find the secret of your strength. My Lord, Samson, you do such mighty things. Samson's strength was in his God and in the mighty knowledge that he had of his God. You see the locks in 7. Hair represents in symbolic terms wisdom. And 7 represents the perfection of wisdom in the spiritual plane. He had a knowledge of God, a powerful knowledge of God. What did Delilah do? When she found out where his strength was, she reported it to his enemy. Shaved his head. And when he lost his strength, who made mockery of him? Dwarfs. Dwarfs. And they had Samson blind, grinding at the mill, going round and round and round. Wow, everyone made mockery. Look at yourself. Not the descendants of mighty Africa, but you are the direct descendants of the creator of the heavens and the earth. And the same nature that is in God is your nature. White people know this already. Where's the secret of your strength, black man? It's in your head. It's in the knowledge that you have. But where's your hair? You got long hair, but you don't have long knowledge, because Whitey shaved your head of all of your original knowledge. You fell in love with his Delilah, his old deceitful, immoral way of life. He painted up his religion, dressed it up, put it in velvet garments. Oh man, he got it fixed. You walk into the church and the music turns you on, and you start getting a holy feeling as you move sanctimoniously towards your pew. And a man from the pulpit starts pulling you into the pit with something that sounds good. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes should not perish. Boy, why they can preach that thing? And you sitting there with your heart just palpitating. Oh man, oh, this is so beautiful. Choir singing so beautiful. You just feel so good. You see, white folks are masters of deception. They take oleo and create an argument. Oh, no, it's butter. No, it's oleo. No, it's butter. No, it's oleo. It's butter, it's oleo. Because they can make a thing look like what it ain't and make you argue that it is. And white folks did the same with religion. They made it sound like God, feel like God, but you can't get up and do the works of God. They got you going round and around, grinding at the mill, while dwarfs make mockery of you. Your professors make mockery of you, the mighty descendant of the Creator, his hair braided, curlers in his hair, high heel shoes, a bag on. And the mighty woman of the Creator. Here she is, swaying with her sexy self. Because that's where her mind is today. A people destroyed. Truth. Dead because when truth comes, if it's not what your ears want to hear, you tune it out. Dead because even if you could hear it, you're choked with fear and won't speak it. And even worse than that, some of us will speak it, but we won't try to live it. Because anybody can talk right, but it takes a real man and a woman to begin to live right. Now we finished. Samson finally came to himself, didn't he?
and tore up that word. Remember when we said you the key? They watch you. When they bring you here to this school, they watch you. They keep everything around you to keep you amused. You're like a golden baby that's in a crib. And you all know that you're babies. Because your language gives it away. Hey, baby. That's a bad mother. What are you saying? Every woman you marry is your mother because you're not yet man enough to be her husband. So she's got to mother you, and you end up using the term MF all through your vocabulary. Hey, man, what you doing tonight? Come on by my crib. Where you live, brother? My crib is over on Crenshaw. What do you do in your crib? We play with our little gadgets. What do you have in your crib? A little cocaine, a little reefer, a hi-fi, stereo, booze, anything you want. Because we don't go to our homes to think, to plan our liberation. We go to play, to party, and to party, and to make a mess. Oh, come on now, we finished now. Everybody all right? Everybody all right? Now let's wind it up. He's dead. But what happens? One day, snow melts. And then water reaches. And the seed begins to swell and germinate and burst and take root, and then a shoot comes up to get into the light. Here we go. Here we go. Can't contain him no more because the time has arrived. The seed, black man, swelling and bursting. Now we've anchored in, got roots now. And the black man has broken the surface and is crying out for light. And the scripture says, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Arise and shine, for thy light is come. Black man and woman, this is your day. Now, what kind of light you expecting? You expecting some knowledge to come to you to keep you as you are, or to change you? Come on. Do we have to change? All right. Now, look at the change now. What kind of change do you think we must have? A mental change. And a mental change will produce what? A physical change. But it starts where? And it starts where? In the ear. So the scripture says, he that has ears, let him hear. Because the ear will open up and the truth will come in, and light is contained in the truth, and the light will turn on your mind. And once your mind is turned on, brother and sister, you will never be the same no more. Then when you look at things, you will look at things according to the light, and then you begin to judge the darkness of your own thoughts and your own actions when light comes. And when light comes in your mind, you look at yourself if you're homosexual and you say, oh, boy, I can't do that anymore. When light comes, it makes you see the glory of being a man that's made in the image and the likeness of God. So don't no man want to go switching after he find out that he's in the image and likeness of God. He want to grow up and be like his father. And a poor sister who's trying to play man, she forgets it immediately. Because when light comes into a man and he starts reflecting God, a woman recognizes it like that. Because a woman's eyes like a beacon light looking for a man. Do you hear what I say? And a woman ain't looking for no man that got a whole lot of brawn and no brains. A woman is looking for God dressed up in flesh. Hear me now. A woman is looking for God dressed up in flesh. And when she finds that kind of man, she submits. Ain't no such thing as telling her join some feminist movement after she finds God. You don't have to ask her, baby, did you cook my meal? She loved to cook for him. She want to show him, yes, I got my doctorate degree, baby, but it don't mean nothing if I can't make you happy. Ask her, she'll tell you. This black woman is suffering today because she needs a man. A man. She's in that church, brother, almost having orgasms in the aisle. Look at her. Running down the... You say, what's going on with you, baby? She said, shut up, fool. I'm looking for a man. When they start talking about Jesus the way they talk about it, he's a rock. She said, I need something to lean on. Well, I can't lean on no damn marshmallow. I need a rock to lean on. He's my rock. That's what she's looking for. She ain't looking for no faggot. She ain't looking for no little willy-nilly boy. She need a man that's a rock that will stand firm and unshakable on principles that are as immutable as the divine laws of the universe. She's looking for a man that reflects the light of God, a man that knows her troubles, a man that knows how to tell her, peace, be still. I'll take care of it. She knows what I'm talking about, brother. I'm talking to you for her, and I'm talking to her for you because you are the answer to what she seeks, but you are dead as a man. And there ain't nothing in this white man's school that's going to make a man out of you. This will make a faggot out of you. Manhood in here. You come in here from the pool room with a wide gate. And after you get your degree, you just be tipping out of here. Faggot doctrine. Right. It's faggot action. Right. Ain't no damn education. What are we here for? Until you know yourself, you can't even make this work. When you know yourself, you can extract from it what is good in it and use it rightly. But as it stands now, you can't do nothing with it, but it is destroying you. That's why I thank God for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Yes. Because I had this education. I was in show business making music until I heard the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that mighty little black man from Georgia, a man that only went to the 3rd grade of school, but God gave him the light for us. And when I walked in under that light, a little old frivolous brother, I started becoming manly. I have a wife that I have been married to for 26 years. And I was not a man. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad began to shape me into something that my wife could fall in love with over and over and over again. Married 26 years. Got 9 children, some of them older than you. But how I look? I'm damn near 50 years old. How come I can talk to the young and the young understand my language? Because I'm talking from God, because God don't have no hang-up in age. He can speak into the cradle and he can speak into the grave because he's the master of all time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was that kind of man. And he is that kind of man. And I'm only saying to you, my beloved brothers and sisters, as I conclude, that the time is so serious because the white man understands that his world is going out and a new one is coming in. He understands that he's losing power all over the world, but the man that he wants to take down to hell with him are the children of God who are destined to be the ruler when his power is broken. He knows your future, and he's trying to rob you of your future by taking the clothes off his woman now and giving her to you. He's selling his woman on TV. Every time you turn on the television, you think you buying soap, you buying a white woman. She's washing under her arm. And as she rubs herself and the suds come just above her breast, you are gaping, looking to see if you can see something. You think he's selling Sanyo? No, he's selling her, man. I am Ellen. Fly me. We're continental. We really move our tails for you. He's suggesting to you, put your black woman down. Get you a white woman. Put your black woman down. Get you a white woman. He done got her from the caves, man. And he has made her, shaped her for this hour of the final deception of the black man. Now you young brothers, you are a totally new generation. Don't nobody know how to handle you because you have never been seen before. The likes of you have never been since we've been in America. Your mama don't know how to handle you. Daddy don't know how to handle you. Preacher don't know how to handle you. Teacher don't know how to handle you. Leader don't know how to handle you, so they leave you alone. But God has blessed us to know who you are. You are a generation born for war. Because you understand that we'll never get free unless we kick some behind to get free. You understand that? You understand that it ain't singing, I wish that I knew, oh, what it means to be free. Or singing, oh no, he's swinging today. Because this generation gonna know what it means because we are willing to pay the price. And white folks know you are a born warrior. And that's why he got all them commercials on there to open up the army for you, but don't go. Open up the Navy for you, but don't go. There ain't no opportunity there. Trying to make you think everything is all right. Putting on TV, good times, happy days. We're moving on up. Different stroke. It is a different stroke. No, you ain't moving up. They're about to move you out. You mighty young generation, you don't go to church. So they can't hook you on religion. They got mama in the church, poor soul. Got daddy in the church, they hooked in that. Caught up in the darkness. Got your uncle, he's in politics. He's running around here, he's going to jump from Carter to Kennedy. That's like saying I've jumped from Satan to Lucifer. I'm going to get a break. Both of them devils, ain't none of them going to do nothing for you. Another brother, he's a professor. He's caught up in the darkness of his professorship. But you, young man and woman, you ain't caught up in the school. You're not caught up in the religion. You're not caught up in his phony world of riches. But you know how he got you? He got you with the drugs. He got you with the dope, with the PCP that he dusting them reefers with. And he got you doing just what the book says would be happening. It says, when the destruction came in the days of Noah, they were dancing, they were marrying, and they were partying when the end came. And that's your thing. Now, if you could stop that foolishness long enough to look up, you would see that your light had come. Brothers and sisters, I leave you saying that the 1980s is going to find black people killed like you never have seen by white people, so that you will understand what Kunta Kinte understood. In case you don't know where your enemies are, God intends to bring it all back in one generation to make you see that you need to have a nation of your own. God is going to force you to get up from your grave. Just like the scripture says of those dry bones in the valley, all the bones were divided, no flesh on them, but the word came and stimulated the bones, but it wasn't until the winds hit those bones till they came together and stood up in exceeding great army. The winds of adversity, the winds of joblessness and poverty and hunger and want, the rise of the Ku Klux Klan and Proposition 13 and the movement of America to the ultra-right position is the winds that's going to whip black folk into shape. Come on, bones, and let the knee bone and the ankle bone and the toe bone and the foot bone and the jaw bone and the head bone connect on up, because we got work to do. When you come out of here, don't you come out of here thinking that white folks got jobs for you. Come out of here knowing that you got to provide a job for yourself. When you come out of here, don't you come out of here with history, sociology, psychology, English, art, music in your Pan-African studies and think that you are ready. Because the history that they're teaching you, unless you know how to use it, you can't use it. The English that they're teaching you, unless you know how to use it and master it, you'll be washed out by it. Poor sociology, psychology. How can that stuff work? It's not working on none of their children. how can it work on you? You need a whole new education. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, if you would get the knowledge of yourself and see your blackness not as some divine mistake. You are not black because you are cursed. You are black because you are the original life in the universe. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us in my conclusion that God emerged out of total blackness and he made all life to bear witness to his own emergence out of total blackness. So no life is formed in the light. All life must first germinate and form in the darkness, and then it comes forth into light. So as darkness preceded light, you must understand that black preceded white. And as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the ending. The white man is going out of power, and the Ancient of Days is coming back on up to rule. And how did you see him, Daniel? I saw him with hair like lamb's wool and feet like brass burned in an oven. This is you, mighty one, coming up. You say, oh, no, not me. But the Bible say, yeah. The stone that the builders rejected is to become the headstone of the corner. But I don't believe it. The scripture answers and said, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our sight. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you. As I greet you in peace, assalamu alaikum.
Unity and survival. And any questions, ideas, or just things you'd like to expound on, I would like to encourage you to sit down, have a seat, and engage in discussion with us.
Ask those who have believed.
We did, but I think we did better here.
Could you stand, please, and holler it out a little loud, and I'll repeat your question.
Is that being part of the institution is part of being pushed off, the latest now it's supposed to come out with some kind of consciousness or some sort of solution to view and solve all the problems.
Brother's question is, since we're in the institution and all kind of negative things are being pushed at us, how are we going to come out of here with something of substance? How can we come out of here with something of substance? One of the first things I would suggest, my dear brother, is that there be a profound study made of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that give us a knowledge of self. And then I think we should have some of those brothers and sisters who have made profound contributions to the rise of black people. We need to read their books. The Destruction of Black Civilization by Dr. Chancellor Williams. The writings of Cheikh Anta Diop. The writings of Fanon. The writings of Garvey. The writings of Du Bois. You need that kind of education for self-depth. Then you can walk into English and not be bothered by grammar, you will be able to master that English language. Since we live in an English-speaking world, we can't make excuses for our lack of understanding of the language and say, well, man, it ain't ours. We have to master it, and we can. You can walk into any class, sociology, psychology, and you can take the elements of that and use it from a black perspective, and you can come out with that degree and make that degree work. But as long as you don't have a knowledge of self, which is the key to unlock all disciplines, then you will come out of here just like you came in. But you must get the knowledge of self. That is number one. Thank you, brother. Yes?
I'd like to find out, where do we go to find more light? What is the address of a place where we can go to get more education on the subjects that we have heard?
Brother, why don't you put it on the board? What I would like to see, I would like to see light come to you as well as you go get light. I think that on this campus, we ought to set aside one day out of the week where we as black people meet, not to have ideas thrown down our throat, but to read what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has written, and then let's come together intelligently, dissect it, discuss it, see what principles are in it that we could apply. And if we did that once a week here, then we can go to the Black Research Center on Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles and continue to further our knowledge. Dr. Malik Rashidin. Where's Dr. Rashidin? Here's a brother that has a PhD degree in social psychology, but a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and a minister of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He would be very happy to come here to you and serve you in any way. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to become, quote unquote, a Muslim. What it does mean is that we have to look into things that make men what they are. You have to understand that if third grade Elijah Muhammad, right, produced 8th grade Malcolm, and nothing of scholarship could interfere with Malcolm. Nothing could handle Malcolm from the root of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's message. Then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't stop producing. Here's Muhammad Ali, a high school brother that admits he just barely got out of high school, barely learned to read. But Muhammad Ali is a brilliant mind. But that brilliance was ignited. He had always had it, but the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ignited his brilliance. Now, I'm a product of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I think it should say something that the people who have shaken the conscience of black America, if you look at them, they came somewhere near, close by, around, or through, or under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So what I would suggest is don't, get all happy over Farrakhan. A student, let's say, well, look, man, if this man, Mr. Muhammad, taught him, let me see what the teacher has to say. And you and I, as students of him, can manifest our greatness together as brothers and sisters. All right? So there's the Black Research Center, its address, and Dr. Malik Rashidin, this is his phone number, 299-7510. He'll be glad to come here anytime you request him, and I think you should request him before we leave today so we can do this on a regular basis, once a week. There ain't no cost. Just get him here and make sure that he stays long enough to do the job. Yes, sister?
I would like to know, would you be having any family day events that took place back east?
Yes, ma'am. We had one today. She said, will you have any family day events? Yes.
right on this campus, brothers and sisters, you have to understand that everything on this campus is to destroy a sense of family between us. So the Black Student Union, you don't need to bring big shots or so-called big shots in. You need to, right among yourselves, have regular family day meetings where you can impart, exchange, get together and cook some good African cuisine. Sisters can work out, brothers can work out, and share what you've cooked with one another and begin to feel a sense of fellowship and brotherhood. And while you're cooking, stay away from that swine. Stay away from that swine. And you that work at the push office where they brought that pig, you know, don't eat no hog. You know that's a nasty animal. It's a filthy animal. You look in the face of a hog, it's one of the ugliest looking animals you ever saw. No joke. Its eyes are ugly, always look like they're running. That thing eats all the swill that it can get. It'll walk behind a cow, and as the cow drops its dung, the pig will eat the dung of the cow. They use pigs to clean out swamps with deadly poisonous snakes. And the snake will bite the pig and pour its venom into the pig, and the pig will still live because the poison in the pig is greater than the venom of the snake. And then you turn around and eat the poison animal. Cook that stinking flesh. It's the stench of it sometimes will drive you out of the kitchen. You are cooking a garbage pail, eating a garbage pail, and then talking about, oh man, shoot, man, my grandmama lived to be 95, eating hog. That nigga ain't telling me nothing. 95 ain't nothing. 95 is lightweight, brother. Isaiah the prophet says in that day, when God comes to give us life and give it more abundantly, a baby will die at 100. They found a lobster the other day that was 150 years old. They have California redwood trees that are 1,000 years old. Here is man, the greatest of God's creation, and don't understand why he can't make it to 60 without his teeth falling out. Hair turned gray, all messed up, his health gone bad. Brothers and sisters, pick up your Bible and look in the beginning. You see Noah. How long did Noah live? Over 900 years. Just wasn't Methuselah that lived. He was just the longest liver, but those fellas back there lived till they got tired of living. And here we are up here, 40 years old, and can barely make it. It's not that we can't do it. It's the lifestyle that we have chosen, which is death itself. You got to eat right, and you got to think right, and thinking right and eating right will make you feel right. And when you live right, you don't have the weight and the burden of sin to crush out the vision that the brain is capable of perceiving. So you can live as long as you want it just by being careful. Now, yes, sir.
I'd like to know, and most of the brothers in here, you mentioned being a man. Now, I don't know, I don't quite understand what you mean by that. What does that mean to be a man? Or a black man?
Yes. Now that's a wonderful statement, question. He said, what does it mean to be a man? I don't understand what you mean. Okay? Everything that they say God is, if you be that, that's a man. They say God is all wise. Well, you can't be a fool and be a man. You've got to reflect God's wisdom. As for man and woman, God has everything under control. They say he's got the whole world in his hand. That means that whenever you put something into motion, you got to bring about the law that will give order to it so that it's in your hand. That's acting like God. See, you got to do it with small things until you can grow to do it with bigger things. They say God is all-seeing. That means he has vision. And without vision, the scripture says the people perish. And the only thing that gives man vision, again, goes back to knowledge. They say God is love. You don't have love for yourself and love for your family and love for your people. The Spirit of God is not yet born in you. So when you see that the problem with the world is they made God non-real and then say he produced reality. See? So all we're saying is bring God and man together, because man is the true reflection of God. And when man don't reflect God in all of his fullness, God is dead. And until man wakes up to how much potential he has, which is to reflect God in all of his majesty, then man is not truly man. And that's why I close this question by bringing you to the scriptural reference of Jesus. When they say, the scholars talk about Jesus, they say he was true God, true man, yet born of a woman. Came into the world just like any other child, but grew into knowledge, didn't he? But notice who he was tied to. He was tied to the Father. And the Father, meaning the Creator, nurtured him, nourished him in wisdom, and he began to face every human challenge that we face. And he overcame every human challenge. And then, it's so beautiful when it's understood, at what appeared to be the zenith of his life, he was crushed out, fell down to the earth, and then they say rose again and never stopped rising, ascending on to the Father, and then said, come, follow me. Do you know what that means? It don't mean sitting down looking at Jesus saying, man, ain't he tough? It means saying, wow, that's the example of what I can become. So let me get on up and meet my challenge, overcome these challenges, and keep on ascending. It don't mean floating up in the sky, but it means ascending higher and higher in wisdom until you become one with God and become a reflection of God. And then man and God become one. And then the scripture is fulfilled. In the beginning, he made man in his own image and after his own likeness. And then he gave man dominion and power over all things. That's your destiny. But you got to grow from where you are to the ascension to which you are destined to go.
Okay, I saw someone in the back. Okay, let me see. Sister, brother, sister. Is that brother back there? That's 4. And these here. All right.
We'll try and move quickly. Yes, ma'am.
I consider myself a Christian and a religious person.
Yes.
I'm put down by my black brothers and sisters because they feel that I'm too passive. Well, you're, following the white man's religion. And religion puts you down, and religion makes you passive. I feel like, through going to church and the Bible has gave me morals to live by, and I don't feel like I should, sway away from those morals. Put down what I'm passive and being, that's the white man's religion by being the Christian that I am, and I just don't see the Bible doing that. I read it and I can identify with the scriptures that you say, but yet I'm talking, well, I'm being passive.
All right. Did you all hear her? Oh, sister, it's so beautiful. See, now, this is why we need to come together and talk. Now, I feel that I'm a Christian, too. What you say, Farrakhan? Sure, I'm a Christian. The same kind of Christian you're talking about. See, I believe in Christ. And I believe that Christ was that one that God made in his image. And if you look at the root of the word Christ, it means to crush wickedness, unrighteousness. He came into the world not to bring peace, he says, but a sword. I come to put this world that put humanity out of the divine light. I come to crush it and bring in a new world order. I'm a Christian in that sense. My life has been crystallized into oneness with God. That's what you're saying. I have moral code to live by, but I'm not nonviolent. Now, I am peaceful, but I am not nonviolent. That's a term that no black man should use. That's a term coined by white people to put you in an unnatural state. Listen, God made nothing to be non-violent. He made all things to be in harmony with his creation. But all things have the capacity and the propensity for violence if they are attacked in their natural peaceful state. Now, the God that Jesus talked about was no non-violent fellow. The God of the Scriptures is not non-violent. Was it non-violence that killed the people in the days of Noah? Was it non-violent that killed all those homosexuals in Sodom and Gomorrah? Or was it non-violence that did away with Pharaoh? No, God used violence in order to produce peace. He killed the one that was not in harmony with his will and his law. And I say this, don't let your Christ-like attitude or let them interpret Christ in such a mealy-mouthed, milquetoast way that you think to be Christ-like means to walk with yourself draped in the Bible, quoting scriptures, saying how sweet it is, and Lord, hallelujah. No, to be Christ-like means to crush out wickedness wherever you find it, starting first with yourself. To be Christ-like means that you've got the will to resist evil and even the will to destroy it. The Old Testament says there is a time and a season for every purpose that is under the heavens. There is a time to be born and there is a time to die, right? There's a time to sow and there's a time to reap. There's a time to gather stones. There's a time to cast stones away. There's a time to love and there's a time to hate. There's a time to heal, but there's also a time to kill. And damn it, if you want to die but you don't want to kill, you're out of this thing. You're out of this.
You got to be balanced. Yes, I'm willing to die for my freedom, but I'm also willing to kill anything to get in the way of my freedom. Other than that, you're not a Christian. You understand that? All right. Now you know doggone well if you can get in the chemistry lab and make some insecticide to kill the insects that kill your crop, and that's just your crop. What should we do with those who kill our youth? What should we do with those who try to kill our future? Should we be passive and nonviolent and let everybody just whoop the hell out of us? Not this generation. No. Huh? Yes, sir. That's what God did. He said, according to his word, he will cut off the wicked. He will leave them neither root nor branch. He's going to exterminate so completely that it'll never come back again. That's the God I serve. I don't serve no punk God. I serve a God that kills until he gets happy. I'm with that God. Book says of the God that says he was like a man in a wine press all alone. You know what a wine press is? In the olden days, they used to put grapes in a vat, and people would stamp on the grapes till their garments was all soaked with the pulp of the grape or with the juice of the grape. And God says, the prophet Isaiah said he saw God treading the wine press alone, his garments stained with the blood of the wicked. It said, mighty is he to save his people. Well, that's the kind of God we need, because Whitey is planning genocide for all of us. We don't need no foolish leadership. We need strong leadership. And I'll say this as I get off that question. Don't ever be afraid to give your life. You see? Just be sensitive about giving it foolishly. I know I'm going to die anyway, but how disgraceful it is that I should die with an overdose. Oh, man. I'm on the bar stool, and the sister's sitting there, and she's so fine. Part of her is hanging over the stool, and I pinch her, and her husband comes and shoots me. Oh, what a awful way to die. But hell, man, if I lose my life today, I mean, I check out of here happy. Because I know that my brothers and sisters, one day soon, is going to take care of plenty of business. Because you can't kill what I represent. You can kill the flesh, but that moves the flesh, that makes men stand for what they know is right. You can't kill that. That's what made the Vietnamese kick America's behind, though they had no matching firepower. That's what will make us overcome our enemies, though we have no matching firepower. If we have the willpower and the unity, we will overcome. Now, yes, sir.
What's the real sincere Muslims that are following Wallace Mountain because they don't know the difference between the two columns? What would you suggest that you would tell them?
I like the way you put that. Here's what I would tell them. I would tell them to make an investigation, unbiased, of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Father, and the teaching of the Son, and the fruit of what the Father produced, and the fruit of what the Son produced, and then make their own decision.
because I am not allowed to interfere in who you choose for your leader. Because who you choose for your leader will tell us something about you. And this is the day of the separation of us all and the manifestation of defects. So whosoever will, let him come. Go where you feel happy. That's what I would answer in that regard. Up in the back. Yes, sir.
Generation born and bred for war. Could you expand on that point, please?
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to. He said, you call us a generation born and bred for war. Would you expand on that, please? Would you agree that environment has something to do with shaping heredity? Would you also agree that our fathers being brought into America were brought into an alien environment that robbed us of the very essentials of life, freedom, justice, and equality? Now, freedom, justice, and equality cannot be legislated. It is the natural gift of God that is a part of the nature of every human being. Now, I ask you, when freedom is denied, and justice is denied, and equality is denied, does that extinguish the desire, or does it intensify that desire? It intensifies the desire, right? So when a generation is born, when you pass on in your sperm your qualities, you also pass on in your sperm your desires, your wants, your needs. And that's why you can seek it in one generation and it come up in another. You hear that? All right. Now, as you look at this thing, in the history of Israel, Israel was a slave for 400 years until Moses was produced. Once Moses was produced, a different word went out in the atmosphere of Israel. And that word, though the Israelites that heard it were rebellious against it, that word created an environment into which children were born that had a more natural feel for the word of Moses than their parents. So Moses said, let the old ones die out, and we will take their young, their children, and they will inhabit the promised land. And the difference between the children and the elders was that the children knew that in order to get the land, they would have to fight. And they were willing to pay that price. The same in America. The germ of the desire for freedom, justice, and equality has intensified with every generation that we have had. And every black man that looked like he had some light, white folks snuffed him out, which didn't kill the desire still heightened, still intensified. Lo and behold, Elijah Muhammad came to birth. His words were so caustic because he condemned the white man and the white man's world that many of the elders said, oh, I can't hear it. But the word changed the environment. And into that environment, you were born. And now the word of Elijah Muhammad, even though he's gone, is tailor-made for you. I mean, I didn't feel no resistance in this audience. But 15 years ago, boy, the people would be saying, oh, man, I don't want to hear that. You'd be jumping up trying to defend white folks. Yeah. But not in here. It's because the garment that your parents tried on, it wasn't for them. You were born for the garment, and the garment was made for you. And to prove that you were a warrior, Look now at the crime rate in the community and who is committing the crime. It is the teenagers that are the ones that are the perpetrators of the most violent crimes in the black community. Why? Because that's their thing. Just watch this little 13-year-old walk. I mean, I dig it, man. They walk, boy, and you can see them. 12 years old. They got a little surly, look at the way their mouth turns. This ain't no little hip thing, you know. Where we were playing at it in another generation, these 12-year-old boys, they mean business now. Their mouth is turned down and say, what's this? They tell their teachers, look, B, you don't teach this thing right, I go in my locker and blow your brains out. Didn't no young people talk like that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and then carry it out? You got police in school today like an armed camp. Why? Because the young is the warrior, brother. It's a born generation for war. They just don't have a general, and they don't have no guidance. But that's why the world is coming down, brother. Yes, sir. That's why the people don't like the word of Elijah Muhammad. They want to get rid of that word because in that word is the call. And the young generation will come up. And that baby that cried in here today, whose cry I heard and loved by God's grace, will never cry for freedom for another generation. Because this generation is going to pay the price for all time. And remember now, this generation ain't nothing like you all. I mean, like the elders. Oh, man, they got it all pent up in them. See, all your hurt, all your pain is right in them. And I mean, when they cut loose, they're going to kill until blood, as the book said, will be up to the horse's bridle. This is the day of war, whether you like it or not. And you, my Mexican brothers and sisters, the young Mexican is like that, and the young Indian is like that. And there's going to be a hookup between the Mexican, the Indian, and the black. And whitey, if you don't get your act together, ain't no way in hell you can contain this, because God is bringing up powerful enemies for your behind on the outside. So you can't fight war on the outside and contain revolution on the inside. So you better think about what you're doing before you do it. And the God over it all is on scene. Shaking California a little bit, that's just a sign. Sending tornadoes, ripping up floods. Oh, you ain't seen the handiwork of God. He's going to work out for you. Because he wants you to know that he loves you. He's with you to overturn your enemy's power against you. That's how we know, brother, you the warrior. You the mighty young warrior. And I'm proud to be in your midst and in your day to see us work for the liberation of our people. 3 more questions. This sister, I think somebody down here had their hand. Yes. Sister?
I wanted to ask if you would speak on some of the Jewish intellectuals that we have to read when we're going to college, Hegel, Marx, Engels, and the kind of economic movements that they advocate. Maybe, I guess I'm asking, some people feel that everything that happens to us is determined by economics, and that if you move in terms of economic movement like socialism, in that way we would find freedom.
Okay, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that last. Now we come to the final 3. Yes, ma'am, sister.
Earlier you mentioned that since we're in an English-speaking country that we have to master the English language. I was wondering how you felt about Ebonics being taught to young black children.
When you say Ebonics, that's what?
The language.
Black sound.
Black sound. Black dialect. Oh, yeah, that stuff. Yeah, okay, I got it. I love you, sister. Oh, yes, her question is, since you said we should master the English language, what do you think about, what do you call it? Spell it? Ebonics, which is black dialect. Well, that's us. Ebonics is us. That's the way we communicate with each other. It's a natural expression of our natural language patterns from the old country adjusting to a new situation. However, that must be balanced, because that is a natural expression of us. But then what do you do when you get out of our circle and you go deal in another circle that don't know anything about Ebonics? See, the object of language is to do what? To communicate. We communicate well with each other, saying that stuff, hey, baby, what's happening, you know, and all that. That's fine. But now, brother, let us not kid ourselves. That's our world. But there is another world that we function in, and we also should master both. When I go down in the West Indies, I hear the brothers in Parliament in Jamaica, and they speak in this manner. Fellow colleagues, we must undertake a socialist experiment for the future of our great nation. When they leave Parliament, they go back where they came from. Listen, man, we need to take up some socialism so we go buck up this thing now. Now that's Ebonics. But they know where to use Ebonics and where not to. And that's the wisdom of knowing what to use in what circumstance when. Sometimes you can use a 357 Magnum, sometimes a Derringer would do. You just need to know what and when and how. All right? Okay. Yes, brother.
Yeah, she made a statement about it in the 1980s that it's going to be white people going to be killing black people. Which way can we? Well, it's going to be more, they're going to show that they are our enemies and whatnot. So which way can be the solution for black brothers and sisters here to protect ourselves in 1980s?
The brother's question is, you said that in the 1980s there's going to be a more intense killing by whites of blacks. What way can we protect and defend ourselves against this? Now, my brother, you have to understand, and all of us have to understand, that white folks, when they realize that they have no more jobs for us, and they don't have any more jobs for their own people, as the economy begins to fall lower and lower and lower, and the brothers in Africa refuse to accept the settlement made in England for Zimbabwe. And the revolution intensifies and then moves into South Africa. And blacks who are the majority there start killing whites for their freedom. The press is going to throw that up. And as white people here feel for their brethren in Africa just like we feel for ours, as they, our brothers, start killing them wholesale for freedom there, white folks are going to react in England and America the same way they've been reacting, only now it's going to be more intense. The Ku Klux Klan is busy organizing in the high schools, in the colleges, and they're not talking get along with blacks. They talking get rid of us. The ultra-right right now is preparing to destroy black brothers and sisters. You may not believe this, and maybe you do, or you will, but more blacks are being killed by police than were killed by the Ku Klux Klan through lynching before the turn of the century. I mean, the violence is stepping up, brothers and sisters, and it isn't a thing that is going to come. It's already here, but it will take a greater proliferation. And it is seen in many ways. Now, white folks are killing you right now through all kinds of chemicalized food, drugs. You go to a hospital and you're under their knife, and I mean they work out. You go in for one thing, come out, all your organs are gone. He's killing, brother. He don't intend for you to have no black babies. He don't want to see no more babies. They're stepping up attacks on black women throughout America. And they look at your sister as a black factory that makes these black bees. So in Boston, 12 black girls have been killed, and some of them dismembered. You don't know nothing about it hardly out here. See, now they're killing here. But this is going on. This is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he knew this was coming. He said, sisters, if you don't have no business on the street at night, come in. And if you have to go out, be escorted by your husband, by your brother, by your boyfriend, by some male member, and make sure he's a male and will fight for your protection. Right? So I'm saying now, to get to the point, you don't have to tell a man what to do if you tell him it's raining outside. He knows, put on your galoshes or get an umbrella so you be prepared for the rain. I don't have to draw a diagram so white folks can come and arrest me and say, see what he did? All I tell you is the weather conditions. Nasty outside. And you go take care of all the business you know so you be prepared for the weather in whatever way you think you be prepared. But the best preparation ain't a rifle or a shotgun if there's no heart, and the best preparation ain't no heart if there's no will, and the best preparation with will is to unite with all the brothers and sisters that got will, so we know that we are one family, Muslim, Christian, nationalist, socialist, all of us black. And when this train comes, it ain't going to bypass you because you happen to think like Carter. You black, and you going to kill. So we need, above all, unity and the will to fight like hell with those who fight with us. I mean, we're going to have to rumble before this is over. So you don't play with this. Men, women, and children, everybody going to have to fight before this deal go down. So don't nobody get away. I mean, it's the truth. All right, this brother here.
Given the fact that the white man spends hundreds of millions of dollars on maintaining and suppressing the black psychological frame of reference, the psychological mind, and creating the cobwebs and what have you, how does the brother, with all the influence he has out today in society, the disco, the dope, the submission to the churches, meaning that you divide from your brothers, divide from the nature of yourself, how does the black brothers and masters, the young brothers and sisters, develop their own psychological frame of reference?
You heard him?
And excuse me, let's wait, quote unquote, the cobwebs of confusion.
That question is a very powerful question. If it were left up to us in our present state to do it alone by ourselves, it would be exceedingly difficult, my brother. But the thing that is helping us are the conditions that are being created by the fall of their world. See now, brother, even a hog will leave the hog trough after a while. When the storm clouds get so heavy, and the lightning starts coming down and the hail starts falling out the clouds, even a pig will get up out the swamp trough and look for cover. It ain't that the pig wanted to go, conditions drove that pig in. But what am I saying? It isn't that you so much want to get up, but conditions are going to drive you and force you and whip you and me into where we ought to be. So as long as there's a good white man that will, while you discoing, throw a firebomb in there, because the jigaboos is in there dancing. And it hit the news that while the niggers was dancing, Whitey threw a firebomb in, and several of them died, just like I'm saying that you're going to read it one day soon. See? Then people say, damn, what's going on? And you start boogieing a little more. Then your favorite white folk, the one that you think is the real good one, something happened in Africa, something happened with the gold, something happened here, then he says, you know, you niggas, oh, pardon me, Sam. Then he starts making you think. The conditions are going to get so intense. The messenger said to me, I know you love Stevie, but Stevie will not be able to play. Because if Stevie try to sing when a black man is hungry for bread, they'll kill Stevie. You hear what I'm saying? Conditions going to take the trumpet from your lips, and your behind can't shake no damn more when you ain't got no energy to make your butt move. God is going to make America hungry. The San Joaquin Valley is drying up right now.
Make that plain.
God is after you, brother. He ain't going to let you go. You sing the song, steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. My God, he calls me by the thunder. I hear him call deep within my soul. I ain't got long to stay here. That ain't just a song. God is after you, and he's going to beat hell out the white man and you until you come to your senses and stand up an exceedingly great army to submit to do your job and to fulfill your destiny. None of us are going to get away. So, brother, if it were left to me that I go around and preach, and God has blessed me with this gift, but I ain't crazy. I know that this gift won't get you up. I know that. But when I come to speak to you, I ain't speaking thinking that all of you going to jump up and change. Hell no, I know better. I'm speaking to get your blood off my hands so that when you are questioned, you won't be able to say you didn't hear because your brother came. You won't be able to say you didn't understand because God blesses me with the ability to make it so plain a fool can't make a mistake after I finish. So my job is done. Your blood is off my hands. I've done my duty by you, damn it. Now it's up to you to do a duty by yourself. But whether you do or not, that's off of me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But when God gets through whipping your behind, you'll be jumping to your job.